everyone, my name is Talia Taiwo and I'm from STEM Outreach Nottingham. We are helping to organise a festival called Pint of Science, and we've managed to get one of the speakers who will be at that festival, Dr. Baldwin from the School of Physics and Astronomy. And we're going to ask you some questions. I want to get straight into it.
Brilliant.
So, how did you become interested in science?
Well, I kind of wanted to be a fireman when I was about 18. And speaking to one of my friend's dads who worked in the fire service, he said, if you want to go into firefighting and you want to advance through the ranks, get yourself a degree. I thought, what am I good at? I'll do physics, because it was my favourite subject at A-level. And it was while I was doing my degree in physics and astronomy at Nottingham Trent University that I found that I really liked it. And I thought maybe this is my calling.
Wow, okay. It's quite a difference, firefighting and physics, yeah. So what would you say was the most unexpected thing you've learnt in your journey?
So I guess what I've learned is that working in science is completely different to how you learn about science in school. If your experience is just going to science classes, like GCSE level, A level, then you get this image of just reading textbooks and solving equations and maybe doing a little experiment here and there. But once you actually work in science, you learn about this publication process and this whole network of people who go to conferences and speak about their work and engage with the public. And it's far more involved and interesting than I'd ever imagined it was once I had applied to do physics at university. So I really found out a lot more about it.
Yeah. Of course, there is a big difference in sort of the applications of science and sort of just going through the motions and learning different theories and things like that. So what advice would you give to a student that is thinking of pursuing a career in science or indeed physics like yourself?
Go for it, but have a backup plan, because the academic world's quite cutthroat. So if you want to go into science, go do your PhD in whatever you're interested and network and try and get some postdoctoral research jobs, but always have a backup plan, because you're going from job to job, maybe three-year post at a time, 2-year posts, and you write your papers and become successful. But there's a point where if you're just jumping from post to post, then it kind of sets you back a little bit, because you have to be then applying for fellowships, and if you're just in research, then you might get to the age of 40 and you've not got a permanent position, and then you're in trouble. Yeah. So if you're in your, say, 3rd or 4th postdoc and it's not looking like you're going to get a permanent position anytime soon, make sure you've got something to fall back on.
Yeah, it's all about the safety net, isn't
it? Yeah.
So describe an ordinary day. What do you get up to?
Well, I work in a lab with a very high field magnet, so every time I get into work I have to think about what's in my pockets. No keys, no wallet, no phone. So walk in the lab, put them away, safe. It's the first thing I have to think about. And then I think about what experiments I'm going to do that day. It's probably a continuation of what I've been doing yesterday. So at the moment I'm working on trying to grow snowflakes in a magnetic levitator. And so I'm constantly thinking about how to set up that experiment just right. There's always the temperature profile in the magnet, how humid is it in there, and I'm always writing things down, making notes. And get to the end of the day and I look at what I've done, have I made any progress, and I write a little note for myself to read the next day. And if I have some successes, then I email my boss and say, this is what's worked, or this isn't what's worked. And I'm constantly reassessing what I've done the previous days.
Wow, magnetic snowflakes, that already sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I already want to know more. So why is your area of science, how do you think it's relevant to today's society?
Well, in some ways I try and not think about that, because if you get too bogged down in the economic outputs of what your research is going to have in the immediate future, then you can set yourself back from having unexpected results. So, for example, in the process of NASA trying to get good at going into space, they got good at doing loads of other things along the way. And so they had patent after patent of new technologies, like memory foam beds, that came out of NASA trying to develop something that could protect astronauts on re-entry. So while I'm doing my research into a very specific thing, I'm trying not to think about, will this actually have any benefits at all? Because you never know. And if you get yourself too bogged down in that, then it can set you back a bit.
Absolutely. A lot of scientific discoveries are
accidental,
and unintended. So yeah, I think it's really important
Yeah.
also to remember that knowledge is a product as well. So if you're creating a good knowledge and based on what you've discovered and putting it out there, that's also, a viable output.
Exactly, and I'm trying to chip away at the bits of knowledge that we don't have already. So what do we know about this thing? Can we advance that knowledge a little bit more? So just chiseling away at the wall of knowledge that we haven't got yet. And if something good will come out of the specific thing that I'm doing, fantastic.